Prince Harry made a surprise appearance on Stephen Colbert's Late Show, throwing jibes at President Trump by claiming that America had elected a king, a nod to the No Kings protest. He also made a series of awkward jokes as he joined in on a Christmas sketch about being a prince in a Hallmark movie.
When members of the royal family enter political conversations, the reaction is almost always intense. That's because the monarchy has traditionally been associated with neutrality, avoiding public positions that could be interpreted as partisan. Even after stepping away from official royal duties, Prince Harry's comments continue to attract attention because many people still view him through the lens of his royal background. At the same time, Harry has spent the last several years building a new public identity, one that includes interviews, documentaries, and appearances on major American television programs. Those platforms encourage humor, personal opinions, and candid conversations, creating a very different environment from the carefully scripted world of royal engagements. The result is an interesting collision between two identities, a prince raised within centuries of tradition and a global celebrity navigating modern media. Every joke or remark is analyzed not only for what it says, but for what it suggests about the evolving role of the Sussexes on the international stage.
Sovereign nations to decide their future is yours, so you should decide that, and not the US or our tabloids either.
Yeah, well, one American, Meghan Markle, has done a good job of deciding for us the fate of Prince Harry. Ashley, where do you stand on Harry? Are you a fan?
I'm not a fan myself. You know, we call him the spare, right? He's labeled himself as that. But Meghan Markle, it seems to influence him in a lot of ways. I think the Stephen Colbert appearance, it says a lot. I mean, Stephen Colbert has been very angry at the president, makes a shot at Harry as well at the No King comment with President Trump. So why did you come to America then? And you live in $1 million Montecito mansion in California. So it's a little, I don't enjoy him being present here. I think South Park did a great job mocking them a little bit, saying, no, we want privacy, we want privacy. And, you know, that's all they wanted to do, but they continue to have failed deals with places like Netflix, I believe Spotify even, with Meghan Markle. It's just like, please stop being on my television and making comments about politics in America when you fled your country and your father is the king, right?
Yeah. Steve, let's bring you in from London. Steve Van Allen is
one of the biggest questions raised by moments like this is whether former royals should be treated like ordinary celebrities or held to a different standard. Actors, comedians, and television personalities frequently comment on political figures, often using satire or criticism as part of entertainment. Their audiences generally expect that freedom of expression. Prince Harry occupies a more unusual position. Although he no longer carries out official royal duties, his title and family connections ensure that his words are often interpreted as carrying greater symbolic weight. Supporters argue that he has the same right as anyone else to express opinions or participate in public conversations. Critics, however, believe that his unique status brings a responsibility to remain above political disputes. This debate reflects a broader cultural shift where public figures increasingly blend entertainment, activism, and personal branding. As those boundaries become less defined, audiences are left deciding whether they're watching a former working royal, a celebrity, or simply an individual exercising free speech. Perhaps the most interesting aspect of this controversy is how quickly a single television appearance becomes part of a much larger discussion about identity, influence, and public responsibility. In today's media landscape, a brief comment can generate global headlines, social media debates, and days of analysis from supporters and critics alike. For Prince Harry, every appearance contributes to the narrative he is creating outside the royal family, whether people agree with his approach or not.
Good evening, Steve. Good to see you. We do talk about them, Harry and Meghan, of course we do. And I think probably disaster will come for them when we stop talking about them. That's the ultimate for them, isn't it? That they become irrelevant.
Yeah, you've gone Oscar Wilde on it, haven't you? The worst thing about it is being talked about, not being talked about. And this is what it's about, isn't it? It's a very cringy sketch.
It's clear that
I don't
his
mind
words
that. I actually quite enjoy watching the Late Show, Stephen Colbert. I don't think it should have been cancelled. But it's not as if every single thing they do is hilarious, and that was a really bad example of it. It's awkward. The weird kind of huggy thing. It kind of makes you feel, and not even good awkward like The Office. It seems like he's turned up to help his missus flog some jam. That's all it can be, isn't it? It's either trying to get more Netflix deals or flog jam. That's how they make the money these days.
You are so right. I couldn't put my finger on what it was about it that felt inauthentic. But that is the point, that he's not trying to flog anything for himself. He's not on those shows to promote a project that he's done or a charity he's working with. He's just there to help his wife's jam and the program that's just coincidentally launched on Netflix this week at the moment. But, and maybe trying to be generous here, Steve, is we do criticise them for taking themselves too seriously. So he might have thought, you know what, I'm going to poke a bit of fun at myself because that will go down well with the public, and we're going to do a sketch about a prince and I'm going to make king jokes, and maybe this will endear me to the public. I can sort of see a grain of logic in that decision.
Well, the king joke I don't mind, because you're in a place where that's going to be the narrative on that show. Of course that's going to happen. But he's not really mocking himself that well just because he's a prince. It's not like he really lives that royal life. He refuted all that is royal to go and do his thing and is now using it just for a sketch. So I know what you mean. It's not really being able to laugh at himself. He gave an interview recently where he said one of the things he likes about the Brits is our ability to do banter. And I've never seen anyone who's less good at banter. Listen, I like banter, sometimes a little bit of playful jockery, but I've never made a documentary about how upset I was that I got some pushback once.
Yeah, you're right. We just explain to our audience what the no kings thing is, because we don't have that in the UK.
Yeah, well, it's a bunch of, angry, I would say older white liberals that, go out and protest and call President Trump a king in this sense. And it's really that the age group is 50 to 75 and the demographic is basically all white adults, I would say.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the Brits and the Americans agree on one thing. We both can't stand Prince Harry at this point. We just don't care about him at all.
And Federico, I think it's really funny, this no kings movement here in the US, because they completely fail to understand what a king is, because their idea is, well, Donald Trump thinks he's a king. And
this is why even lighthearted comments can become major headlines. For some viewers, they represent authenticity and a willingness to speak openly. For others, they reinforce the idea that a prince, even a former working royal, carries a unique responsibility to avoid becoming involved in political conversations. The debate also reflects a changing media landscape where celebrity, influence, and public service increasingly overlap. As Harry continues to build a life in the United States, the question is no longer whether he's left royal duties behind, but whether he can ever completely step out of the shadow of the institution that made him one of the world's most recognizable figures. So what do you think? Has Prince Harry successfully reinvented himself as an independent public figure, or will his royal identity always shape how his words are received? Let us know in the comments, and subscribe for more royal analysis, breaking news, and thoughtful commentary on the stories making headlines around the world.